Hello, this is Janae with Aglow Generations, and this is the second podcast of our Glow Generations podcast series. So, welcome. And you'll notice a big difference from the last podcast in that there is video. So, welcome to my office, and just make yourself at home here is kind of the goal that I'm going for. So, the the ultimate goal here is to provide a space that is more of a living room environment. That while we are, um, not in the same physical space, that we can come together on these podcasts and you guys can get to know me more. And hopefully, I can get to know you through the comment section. So feel free to comment on this post and um, or email me at generations@aglow.org. And I would love to connect with you. I promise if you connect with me in the comments or in an email that I will try to reach out back and we can keep the conversation going. I can't promise how soon, but I will definitely try to get back to you as soon as I can. So I basically want to start out just by saying that you may follow a lot of podcasts or maybe none, and that's okay too. But this podcast might be a little different than what you're used to, and I can't promise that this setup will be what we do every time. We're still testing things and doing a trial by error sort of approach. We've never done this before, but I definitely choose and prefer to take a more casual approach to this. I don't want people, listening and feeling like I'm going to, um, you know, be just talking at you. And though I'm the only one here doing the talking right now, hopefully in the future I'll have people that I can interview or join me and we can have even deeper conversations. And really through those conversations be exploring what God is doing in and through this part of Aglow's ministry and generations, and hopefully how we're seeing it grow, because that's the ultimate hope, is that we will have more people um, learning what Aglow is, or people who have been a part of Aglow in the past but are rejoining. And one of the things that I really wanted to say is it does not matter your age in Aglow. If you are a part of a generations group or you're a part of the generations age group, which is teens through 40s, great. This is definitely a place for you. But if you are past the generations age, do not feel like you can't listen. This is for anybody who wants to. And I really feel that, if you are 50 or older, it would be awesome for you to join us on this podcast and get to know Aglow Generations where we are, and comment in the sections if you have something to share with us, something that you've learned in your experience maybe with generations, or your experience in maybe in your history of being in those age groups. And maybe there's things that we chat about, or interviews, or something in the future that helps you in your lighthouse or your area team. Reach out to people who are generations aged. So I don't want anybody to feel like they're not welcome here. You definitely are, and I would love to hear from you too. But with that said, I also will be keeping the focus on generations as a whole. So I hope that none of you have left. um, but, this is going to be fun and it's going to be exciting. And we're going to see what God does through this. Yesterday I was driving into the office, and if you've never been to our headquarters office, it is located in Edmonds, Washington, which is about 20 minutes north of Seattle. And it's right on the Sound. So, you know, just a couple blocks from here is the water with ferry boats and such. And so to get into this area, you have to kind of drive down this big hill, and we call this part of Edmonds the Bowl because it's kind of down lower than other areas. And so to get in and out, you go up or you go down these big hills. I don't know why I needed to share that, but while I was driving down into Edmonds, I guess just to make that make sense, yesterday morning I was driving into work, and I just was spending the time on the drive from dropping off my daughter at school to the office, just really praying and seeking the Lord for what he's calling me and what he's calling us into in this time, in this new day that Aglow is in. We basically, asking the Lord where, I guess not where, but how are you wanting to use us as this part of Aglow's ministry? And, asking him and seeking him and his will for us, because ultimately we all want his will to be done. And, I just want to be sure personally that as a director that I am walking in the path that God has set out for me. And if, that he's called me into this position and that I am being obedient to what he has called me to. So in the drive, just praying all those things and just offering up really insecurities to him, to lay those down at his feet and know that though I'm human and I have insecurities and I have, moments where I feel maybe overwhelmed or something, his blood covers those things. And Jane recently told me about something that I was going through personally, and she made this statement, I want you to remember to walk in the victory of that. And it was such a simple phrase, but it was so profound, and it really changed my attitude for what I was walking in, because she was right. Because I was walking in the worry, not the victory. It was a big deal in my life, and we all have those big deal things that it can be easy to walk in the worldview of it, and walk in the worry, walk in the anxiety, frustration, whatever it is, and whatever the circumstance. It can be easy to do that because we're human. And so it almost becomes like a fleshly second nature. But, as us who belong to the kingdom of heaven, we get to walk in the victory that Jesus has already been in the things that we are walking through, and he's there with us. And we know that ultimately, he's got those things as I often, he's got this. And so in that's where I was with that. And so with Generations driving in and praying, he reminded me of that same thing. Walk in the victory of this. Don't let your anxieties and your worries be what guides you, but let me guide you, because I already have the victory in this, and the victory in Aglow as a ministry, and the victory in, his saving grace. And so that was really reassuring, because, I don't want to, and I feel like maybe there's others that feel this way. When God has called us to something, there, we have our knowledge and what the word tells us in truth, that, God equips us and he prepares us, and he's already prepared us for the things that we're now walking in. So when I was driving down into Edmonds and praying and asking the Lord's will to be done in this part of Aglow's ministry, I also, came before him with my vulnerabilities. The picture of Moses always comes to mind when it comes to me speaking, and especially speaking on camera with a video. Just recording a podcast with audio, I'll be honest, is a lot less stressful. Um, but I think it's really important that we engage this way through video. And so it was just heavy on my heart. Lord, I don't want to mess up. I don't know that I feel completely prepared for this big of a task, but I know that you've called me to it. And I know that you continually remind me that I am called to this. You don't make mistakes, and you're with me in this. And so, the thought of Moses always comes up, as I said, and I will always go to, the part of Moses's life when God first calls him to such a big task to save the Israelites. And he's like, this is my Janae paraphrase. Lord, I can't do that. I don't speak well. And, I have trouble speaking, and here are my reasons why I can't do this. And we all know how that story goes, but I can relate to that so much. I love learning and writing about the things of the Lord. And, when you're writing, there's this wonderful thing about being able to delete things and really get the words out how you want them to. And when it comes to talking, there's not those luxuries that are found with writing. And there are a lot more moments to be vulnerable. And that is something that I think the Lord, for my life, is working on me, because if he wanted somebody that was perfect to do this job, well, there isn't anybody perfect. And if he wanted somebody that speaks really well, and, doesn't trip over words like sometimes I feel like I do, he would have called them, but he didn't. He called me. And, we see in scripture all over the place that it isn't the person who, you would think would be called, the one that is, the ideal, but it's often the unexpected person. And that's what he was reminding me in the car is, he didn't call somebody else. He called me to this. And all I need to do is have faith and trust that what he has planned for Aglow Generations is the focus. And it's not about me. And I don't ever want it to be about me. I want it to be about what he's doing in the world and for his kingdom. And I kind of got into that a little bit in the last podcast. But that, it still rings true. That is what I want for this ministry. And that's what I want to be a part of, because I know that God is doing something awesome. And we may not see the whole picture right now. We may only see a piece of it, but I think it's awesome already that, Generations is on the move. And I know a lot of people, maybe you're watching or listening, are really excited about moving forward with this. So with that, if you have any questions, or, if you need to reach out to me because you want to start a group, or somebody that wants to start a group for Aglow Generations, or you just want to know more about Aglow in general, definitely reach out to me. I want to talk to you about those things. And as we move forward, I may have a podcast soon that I go more into detail on how some of those things work. And, we can get into that together. But for right now, if there's something that you're wondering about just in general, or if you want to start a group, I'd love to talk to you about that. And you can email me, or, reach out to me in the comments, and I'll respond. So hopefully this podcast has been great for you. And, I'm looking forward to doing more. I don't know that this will be exactly what the podcast view looks like in the future, but it's great to be seen. So hopefully you liked it, and we'll see you next time. So make it a great day.